Welcome students to class 11. Uh, Myself Tanmoy Sarkar, and I'm going to teach you geography. So let's start our classes. The chapter that I'm going to discuss today, it is chapter 4, rock. Chapter 4, rock, from your textbook. So what is a rock? It is the most significant part of our Earth surface. You can tell what it is, the most important part of our Earth surface, or you can say rock are all those material which forms the crust of the earth. Rock are all those materials which forms the crust of the earth. Or the definition of rock is, rock may be simply may be defined as all those rock may be simply defined as all those materials which forms the crust of the earth. Rocks may, may simply be defined as all those materials which forms the crust of the earth, whether it is hard like granite or soft like clay, whether it is a hard structure like granite or soft like clay. Now let's see the classification of rocks. Now rocks, first of all, it may be simply classified into three parts: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Okay, rock may be simply classified into igneous rock, sedimentary rock, and metamorphic rocks. Later on, igneous rock has been classified into mafic igneous rock, felsic igneous rock, extrusive igneous rock, and intrusive igneous rock. What igneous rocks can be more classified into mafic igneous rock, felsic igneous rock, extrusive igneous rock, and intrusive igneous rock. Now this intrusive igneous rock has also been divided, or else has also been classified into two parts, that is plutonic intrusive rock and hyperbasal intrusive rocks. Now come to sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rock is classified into organic sedimentary rock, inorganic sedimentary rock, clastic sedimentary rock, and non-clastic sedimentary rocks, where organic rock has been further classified into calcareous, carbonaceous, and chemically formed. And inorganic sedimentary rock has been classified into arenaceous sedimentary rock and argillaceous sedimentary rocks. Okay, inorganic rock has been further classified into arenaceous sedimentary rock and argillaceous sedimentary rocks. So this is all about the classification of rocks. Now, igneous rock. Let us see the igneous rock. Now, what do you mean by igneous rock, or what is an igneous rock? The word igneous, it simply means what? It means fire. The word igneous, it means fire. Now, these igneous rocks, how are they formed? The igneous rocks are formed due to by the molten lavas, in above the earth surface, or in the or below the earth surface. Now when these molten lavas get cooled up, and solidifies, the rock that forms by those the rock that is formed by solidification of lavas are called igneous rock. The rocks which are formed by the solidification of lavas are called igneous rock. Now these igneous rock are also called parent rock or primary rock. Igneous rocks are also called parent rocks or primary rocks. Why is it so? Because the all other varieties types of rock, that is sedimentary and metamorphic rocks, are formed have been formed from this igneous rock. All other rocks like sedimentary and metamorphic rocks have formed from the igneous rock. That is why igneous rock is known as parent rock or primary rock. Now classification based on chemical properties. The classification of igneous rock based on chemical properties. On the basis of chemical properties, mafic and felsic are the two type of rocks which are classified on the basis of chemical properties. Mafic igneous rock, it contains ferromagnesium. Mafic igneous rock, it contains ferromagnesium mineral which is characterized by abundance of iron and magnesium. Let me tell you again, mafic igneous rock, it contains ferromagnesium mineral. Ferromagnesium mineral which is characterized by abundance of iron and magnesium, whereas felsic igneous rock contain felspar. Whereas the felsic igneous rock, it contain felspar. It consists of silicates, aluminium in combination with those of sodium and potassium. What does felsic rock it contain? It contain mainly felspar, and it consists of silicates of aluminium in combination with those of sodium, calcium, and phosphates. So this is classification on the basis of chemical properties. Now let us see classification based on texture. If you see the classification based on texture, there are different classifications like pheneritic textured crystals. Pheneritic textured crystals. These crystals are large enough to be seen with the help of open eyes. These crystals, this is pheneritic crystals, they are large enough to be seen with the help of open eyes or hand lens. Number two is Affine texture crystals. Affine texture crystals. They are also too small to be distinguished. This type of crystals, they are too small to be distinguished, or they are too small to be identified without the aid of microscope. Means without the help of microscope, you cannot identify this type of crystals. Equigranular crystals. In this, all the crystals are within the same size range. In equigranular crystals, all the crystals are of equal or same size range. Porphyritic textures. Porphyritic textures. These textures come into being when a few large crystals called phenocrysts are embedded together in a matrix of ground mass of smaller crystals. Now, how these porphyritic textures are formed? They are formed when large crystals called phenocrysts are embedded together. Means when the large crystal called phenocrysts are mixed, or when phenocrysts are joined together, then these porphyritic textures are formed. Now this texture of rock, what does it refer? It refers to the size and pattern of mineral crystals present in the rock. Texture of rock refers to the size and pattern of the minerals present in the rock. The size of mineral crystal in an igneous rock depends largely upon the rate of cooling of magma. In igneous rock, the textures that we find in igneous rock are largely depend upon the rate of cooling of magma. As the rule says that if there is a rapid cooling of magma, the rule says that if there is a rapid cooling of magma, It results in smaller crystals, while slow cooling of magma gives large crystals. I hope you understood what I said. Means if the magma cools rapidly, if the magma it starts cooling rapidly, then the crystals that are formed will be small in size. And if the magma cool faster, if the magma cool, sorry, if the magma cools slowly, if it gets slowly, the texture that you will get, it will be smaller, it will be larger in size. Now classification based on location. The hot liquid lava may get solidified by cooling either at the surface of the earth or below in cracks. Accordingly, two types of igneous rocks are formed. What it said, the hot liquid lava that comes out from the volcano, it may get solidified, by cooling either at the surface of the earth or below the surface of the earth in different cracks. Now, on the basis of solidification or on the basis of cooling, there are two types of igneous rock, that are extrusive igneous rock and intrusive igneous rocks. Now, what are extrusive igneous rocks? The rocks that are formed due to solidification of lava at the surface of the earth. Extrusive igneous rocks are formed due to solidification of lava at the surface of the earth, whereas intrusive rocks, they are formed due to solidification of lava beneath the earth's surface. Intrusive igneous rock, they are formed due to solidification of lava beneath the earth's surface. Now there are two types of intrusive igneous rock. There are two types of intrusive igneous rock. What are they? They are plutonic intrusive rocks and hyperbasal intrusive rocks. Plutonic intrusive rock and hyperbasal intrusive rocks. So let us see what is this. Let me tell you what is plutonic and hyperbasal igneous rock. The word plutonic, it is a Greek word. Okay, the word plutonic, it is a Greek word, Pluto, which means the god of the underworld. Plutonic means what? It means simply it means Pluto, and the meaning of this is plutonic. It is a Greek word which came from the Greek word Pluto. What does it mean? It means the god of the underworld. Now, obviously, these rocks have been formed by solidification of lava. Now, this plutonic igneous rock or plutonic intrusive rocks are formed due to the solidification of magma at greater depth below the surface of the earth. Plutonic rocks, they are formed by the solidification of lava at a greater depth below the surface of the earth. Next type is hyperbasal rocks. Often magma coming up from below does not reach the surface and get solidified in cracks. Oftenly, when the lavas are coming out from volcano, all the lavas or the entire lava, it doesn't come out from the volcano. Some of the lavas could not reach the surface of the earth and get trapped into the cracks and join from forming hyperbasal rocks. Now the lavas which are trapped in cracks and joints, they formed hyperbasal rocks. Now let us see the characteristics of igneous rock. They are massive, hard and compact. Igneous rocks, they are very big in size, they are hard and they are very compact. There are no layers found in the igneous rock. There are no layers found in the igneous rock. Igneous rocks are free of fossils. Why they are free of fossils? Because they are not formed from fossils. Igneous rock, they are not easily weathered. What does it mean? It means that igneous rock, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to break it. They are quite rich in minerals. Next is there are no pores in the igneous rock. You will not get any pores in the igneous rocks. So there is no chance of water leakage through the igneous rocks. Now igneous rock bodies. But there are different types of bodies in igneous rock. Now when the magma gets solidified after cooling and give birth to various igneous rock bodies, they have their own size, shape and position. But when the magma gets solidified after cooling and give birth to various igneous rock bodies, they have their own size, shape, position. Now what are they? Number one is batholith, stock, laccolith, lapolith, phacolith, and dike, D-Y-K-E dike or D-I-K-E dike. Now what are these? First of all, batholith. Batholith, it is the largest intrusive igneous rock. Batholiths are the largest intrusive igneous rock body. A batholith may be of 30 to 50 kilometer. Batholith, it may be of 30 to 50 kilometer across and 100 of kilometers in length. 100 of kilometers in length a batholith can be. They are so thick that their bottom are not visible. The batholith rocks, they are so thick that their bottoms are not visible. So this is batholith. Number two, stock. A batholith of smaller size. Okay. A batholith of smaller size is called stock. A stock is often less than 100 square kilometer in area. It has dome-shaped surface and its remaining characteristics are similar to those of a batholith. Now, stock, it is less than 100 square kilometer in area. It has a dome-shaped surface and the remaining characteristics are more or less same like the batholith. Number three, laccolith. The laccoliths are other huge masses of igneous rock. Laccoliths are other huge masses of igneous rock that have been formed between horizontally or slightly tilted layer of sedimentary rocks. Now laccolith, where they are formed in between the sedimentary rocks. Next type is lapolith. This is a saucer-shaped solidification of magma and is found in South America. This lapolith igneous rock body, they are generally found in South America. Phacolith, when it is formed when magma is deposited in a wave-like form. You understood what is wave? You have seen the sea waves. So phacolith, it is formed when magma is deposited. Phacolith, it is formed when magma is deposited in a wave-like pattern. Next is dike or dike. The dikes are near vertical formation from a few meters to kilometers in length. Now dike, the length of a dike, it might be a few meters to many kilometers. They came into existence, this dike, they came into existence when liquid material passes through cracks in the country rocks and get hardened into a rock. They are not easily eroded and sand like great walls after the country rock is eroded. So this is about the igneous rock bodies. Now let us see the economic importance of igneous rock. The minerals found in the igneous rocks are of great economic value. Okay, the minerals that are found in the igneous rocks is having a great economic value. The minerals may be such as maybe iron, nickel, copper, lead, zinc, chromite, tin, mica, manganese, and rare ores like gold, diamond, and platinums are found in igneous rocks. These are of great value in metallurgical industry, means in metal industry where metals are made. It also helped the nation in developing their economy by exporting. Now these igneous, the minerals that are found in igneous rocks, it helps a nation, it helps a country in developing their economic condition, by exporting them to other countries. Now let us see sedimentary rocks. 3/4 of the Earth's surface is covered with sedimentary rock. They made up 5% of the volume of the Earth crust. Sedimentary rocks are formed from those materials which are deposited by the agents of denudation. How sedimentary rocks are formed? Sedimentary rocks are formed from those materials which are deposited by the agent of denudation. Agent of denudation such as river, air. Okay. The deposited materials are known as sediments, and the rock formed from this sediment are called sedimentary rocks. Mainly, you can say that the sedimentary rocks are formed from the sediments which are brought by the different agents of denudation like water, melting of ice, and air. They are also called stratified rocks. Why they are called stratified rocks? In sedimentary rocks, you'll find different layers. In sedimentary rocks, you'll find layers. Two outstanding examples of sedimentary rocks are limestone and chalk. These are two important sedimentary rocks, limestone and chalk. Sedimentary rocks can be classified into organic and inorganic rocks. Now, sedimentary rocks, it can be classified into organic and inorganic rocks. Now, what are organic sedimentary rocks? The organic sedimentary rocks are formed by organic matter. Organic sedimentary rocks are formed from the organic matter derived from plants and animals. Derives from plants and animals. Now, this organic sedimentary rock can be divided into three types: calcareous sedimentary rock, carbonaceous sedimentary rock, and chemically formed organic sedimentary rocks. Now, first of all, let us see calcareous sedimentary rock. As the name indicates, calcareous, as the name indicates, this rock contains calcium. With the name, we can understand that, by the name calcareous, we can understand that this type of sedimentary rock, it contains calcium. Now, these rocks are made up of shells and skeletons of dead marine animals once living in moderately deep, warm, and clear waters of sea or lakes. Now, how these calcareous sedimentary rocks are formed? Calcareous sedimentary rocks are formed of shells and skeletons of dead animals once living in deep, moderate, deep, warm, and clean water of lakes, ocean, or seas. Next is carbonaceous sedimentary rock. These rocks are rich in carbon content. Carbonaceous sedimentary rock, it is very rich in carbon content and are formed due to the decay and decomposition of plants and animal life. How these carbonaceous sedimentary rocks are formed? They are formed due to the decay and decomposition of plants and animal life. Coal is the best example of carbonaceous sedimentary rock. Coal is the best example of carbonaceous sedimentary rock. Many a time, plants' root, leaves, twigs, and even tree trunks are buried in swamps. In course of time, these materials are partially decayed, losing most of their element except carbon. Now, when the matters like plants and animals, they are buried into the ground, they loses all their materials except the carbon. The accumulated materials turn into coal. Now the remaining materials that are left, that is carbon, it turns into coal of different grade depending upon the proportion of carbon. Now it forms coal, and it depends on the proportion of carbon and the degree of overlying pressure and the degree of pressure creating over that surface. Next, chemically formed or sedimentary, organic sedimentary rocks. This category of rock is the result of direct precipitation of mineral from their solution in water. The rock salt, for example, the rock salt, gypsum, nitrolite, saltpetre are example of such chemically formed sedimentary rock as a result of evaporation of water, leaving the substance in their original position. These are chemically formed organic sedimentary rocks. Now let us see inorganic sedimentary rocks. These are formed due to weathering, erosion, and deposition of old rocks. Now, these inorganic sedimentary rocks are formed due to weathering, erosion, and deposition of old rocks. Now, inorganic sedimentary rock can be divided into arenaceous sedimentary rock and argillaceous sedimentary rock. Now, what is the arenaceous sedimentary rock? The arenaceous has been derived from a Latin word arena. The word arenaceous, it has been derived from a Latin word arena, which means sand. Arena means sand. It is clear that the main content of this rock is sand. Sandstone is the best example of arenaceous sedimentary. What is it? Arenaceous, it is a Latin word which came from arenaceous, it came from a Latin word arena, which means sand. So it is clear from this point that in arenaceous sedimentary rock, the sand content is more, and the best example for arenaceous sedimentary rock is sandstone. Next, argillaceous sedimentary rock. This word, argillaceous, has been derived from a Latin word argil. Argillaceous has been derived from a Latin word argil, which means clay. Argillaceous has been derived from a Latin word which means clay. Obviously now clay is the main element of these rocks. In argillaceous sedimentary rock, the main element here will be clay. Clay has very fine particles and argillaceous rocks have very fine pores. Thus, these rocks are soft and impervious. Argillaceous rocks, as they are formed of clay, they have very fine pores. They have very fine pores, very fine particles. So these rocks are very soft and impervious. Means from these rocks, water cannot percolate. Now, sedimentary rocks are also classified according to their mode of formation. Means the sedimentary rocks are also classified on the basis of how they are formed. Number one, marine or aqueous rock. Now, from the name itself, marine or aqueous rock, it means that it is related to sea or ocean. The river deposits its sediment on the bed of the sea. Now, what does a river do? River deposits its sediment on the seabed. When it leaves the land, when a river leaves the land and enters the sea, the sediments get sorted by the river water. Now, the river water, what does it do? It sorts the deposited materials. The larger and heavier particles being deposited first. The larger, the bigger and heavier particles which are carried by the river are deposited first in the sea. The smaller and finer particles are deposited later. Particles are carried far away. The first to be deposited are the pebbles, followed by sand and mud. Organic deposits are found at greater depths in marine or aqueous rock. Now, layer over layer is regularly deposited and sedimentary rocks are formed. Red clay, oozes, and reefs have been formed in this way. Now, what is the process of formation of sedimentary rock? Regularly it is formed layer by layer. Okay, regularly it is formed by the deposition of layer over layer. Now, on the basis of this, it can be classified into riverine rocks, lacustrine rock, aeolian rock, and glacial rocks. Now, what is riverine rocks? River deposit a lot of their sediment when they enters the plains after leaving the mountains. River, it deposits a lot of things, a lot of sediments when it leaves the mountain and enters the plains. Thus, a river is a great agent of sedimentary rock formation. Therefore, the river is a good agent of sedimentary rock formation. Such rocks are especially seen in the floodplains. Lacustrine rocks. These rocks are formed as a result of deposition in lakes. Now, lacustrine rocks are formed due to the deposition formed in the lakes by rivers. Now, the type of rocks which are found in lakes, or which are called lacustrine rocks are rock salt and gypsum are good example of lacustrine rocks. Eolene rocks. These rocks are formed by wind. These rocks are formed by wind. Next, glacial rocks. These rocks are formed by the depositional work of glacier. The glacial rocks, they are formed by the depositional work of glaciers. Okay. Characteristics of sedimentary rocks. They are formed in layer or strata. Now, sedimentary rocks, you will find the sedimentary rocks in different layers. They have ripple marks left by the water. Now, in sedimentary rocks, you will find marks which are left by the waters. Most of them have fossils abundant into the layer. Most of the sedimentary rocks have fossils inside their layers. They are porous, means where water can easily penetrate. They are pervious, they do not have crystals. Now, the sedimentary rocks, they do not have crystals. They are much softer than the igneous rocks. Sedimentary rocks, if we compare it with igneous rock, they are much softer. Sedimentary rocks are much softer. Now, what are the economic importance of sedimentary rock? Although minerals of economic value are less in sedimentary rock, now we know that the minerals of economic value, the minerals that are having economic value are very less in sedimentary rock. Yet the sedimentary rock is a source of iron ore and a number of building stones and a number of stones which are used in making buildings. Uh, Next, we find coal and petroleum. We find coal and petroleum in sedimentary rock, but it is found only in few suitable structure. But the minerals that are found, in sedimentary rock, it is not found in all the sedimentary rocks. The minerals that are found in sedimentary rocks, they are not found in all the sedimentary rocks. They are found only in few structures of sedimentary rocks. Next is metamorphic rock. Metamorphic rocks are formed when the original characteristic of the igneous and sedimentary rock changes. Now, metamorphic rock, it forms when the original characteristic of igneous and sedimentary rock changes under high temperature and high pressure. Different types of metamorphism have been observed depending on the agency that bring about metamorphism. Now there are different agents which causes metamorphism in rocks. Now, metamorphism on the basis of agency, number one is dynamic metamorphism, number two is thermal metamorphism. Dynamic metamorphism, this type of metamorphism is caused by pressure. As a result of high pressure, granite is converted into gneiss, clay and shale are transformed into schist at greater depth of the earth crust. What happened due to dynamic metamorphism? Dynamic metamorphism, it is caused by high pressure. Now, as a result of this pressure, what happened? Granite stone is converted into gneiss, clay and shale are transformed into schist. Next is thermal metamorphism. This changes takes place under the influence of high temperature. Now, thermal metamorphism, it takes place under the influence of high temperature within the earth crust, means within the earth crust, means above the earth crust. As a result of this type of metamorphism, as a result of thermal metamorphism, sandstone changes into quartzite. Sandstone, it changes into quartzite. Clay and shale are transformed into slate. As a result of thermal metamorphism, sandstones are converted into quartzite, whereas clay and shale are transformed into slate. Now, metamorphism on the basis of zone of influence, regional metamorphism and contact metamorphism. Now, first of all, regional metamorphism, when the forces of heat by intrusion or deep burial and Earth's movement act together over a large area, it results in regional metamorphism. But when the forces of the heat by intrusion or deep burial inside the Earth and Earth movement acts together over a large area, it results in regional metamorphism. Whereas contact metamorphism, it is just like the thermal metamorphism. Contact metamorphism, it is just like the thermal metamorphism, which is caused under high temperature. In the areas of mountain building or volcanism, molten water may be injected into existing rock even close to the surface. Now, this contact metamorphism, they oftenly occurs or they oftenly causes in the areas of mountain building or volcanism. This contact metamorphism. Now below you can see a table where I have shown you original igneous rocks, metamorphic rocks, original sedimentary rock and metamorphic rocks. Means so for example, for here you can see here the original igneous rock mica, from it schist is formed, which is a metamorphic rock. Granite, it is an original igneous rock. Due to metamorphism, it turns into gneiss. Bituminous coal, due to metamorphism, it turns into or it gets transformed into anthracite coal. Now, original sedimentary rocks like limestone, it get transformed to marble due to metamorphism. Sandstone get converted or get transformed to quartzite due to metamorphism. Shale, it get transformed to slate. Peat, it get transformed into coal due to metamorphism. Now, characteristics of metamorphic rock, they are recognized by their hardness. Metamorphic rocks, they are recognized by their hardness as they are very hard in nature. Closely blended structures and interlocking of crystals. In sedimentary rocks, the structures are very hard and interlocking of crystals. There are no gaps between the crystals. During the process of change, not only new and precious materials like gem, rubies are born, but crystals are enlarged and rearranged. During the process of change, means when sedimentary or igneous rocks are changed into metamorphic rock, when igneous and sedimentary rocks are changed into metamorphic rock. During this process, various precious minerals like gems, rubies are born, and the crystals are also enlarged and rearranged. Now, economic importance of metamorphic rock, it contains some of the very useful materials like gneiss, quartzite, anthracite, graphite, marble, slate, etc. Gneiss is widely used as a building material. Quartzite, it is one of the hardest rock which is used for glass making. So this is all about economic importance of metamorphic rock. Now let us see the rock cycle. I think everybody of you have studied this in the lower class. Still, you will have to study this again in this chapter in brief. Now, how does a rock cycle works? First of all, igneous rocks are formed as a result of solidification of lava and magma due to heat and pressure. First of all, igneous rocks are formed as a result of solidification of lava and magma. The moment the igneous rocks are formed, they are exposed to the force of weathering. The moment the igneous rocks are formed, they are exposed to the forces of weathering and denudation. And due to this weathering, sedimentary rocks are formed. Due to this weathering, sedimentary rocks are formed. Now, these sedimentary rocks and igneous rock, both the sedimentary rocks and igneous rocks are transformed into metamorphic rock under very high temperature and high pressure. The igneous rock and sedimentary rocks are transformed into metamorphic rock under very high temperature and high pressure. The sedimentary rocks may again be buried so deep they melt. The sedimentary rocks may again be buried so deep in the earth's surface that they melt, resulting in the formation of igneous rock. Okay. Now, the change of one rock into another type, the change of one rock into another type is called or is known as rock cycle. The change of one rock into another type under certain or under different conditions, is known as rock cycle. What happened? First of all, igneous rocks are formed from the melting lava by, by the process of solidification. When the igneous rocks are formed, they are exposed to the forces of weathering like water, air, etc. Then the sedimentary rocks are formed from weathering. After the sedimentary rocks are formed, both the sedimentary and igneous rocks under high temperature and high pressure get converted or get transformed into metamorphic rocks. Again, the sedimentary rocks can be buried at a greater depth where they melts and get converted to igneous rock again. So this cycle of formation of rocks from one type to another under certain conditions is known as rock cycle. So thank you, students. I hope you will understood, and if you have any queries, you can clarify your queries.